very, very open. There's a number of horses there with the opportunity. One of them's got to seize it.
He never showed a lot at home, and they're always the best horses.
If everything goes right for him, I think he'll win a big race.
He is a genuine stay, and he likes coming up that hill.
He's a lot stronger this year, and he's not flashy. He jumps well, and he stays very nicely.
He's regained his King George. Now we've got to try and regain the Gold Cup.
He'll still be galloping when maybe a few of them's throwing the towel in. He was brilliant. Actually, he was always brilliant.
The door is wide open for somebody to walk through it.
Well, of course, a couple of years ago, we had the famous Richard Hoyle line that Cotter Star regained the Gold Cup long run, looking to carve his own piece of history. He's got to beat his stablemate Bobsworth in the process, a horse who's unbeaten at this track and has a couple of festival wins under his belt already.
Yeah, but long run's the benchmark. He's been there, he's won his Gold Cup, and he's a horse, he's never been out of the first three in his life. It's dry here now. If the forecast is correct, between 12 and 3 we're going to get wet and potentially very wet, and that'll be good for long run. The first time cheek pieces I think are a positive, as in probably help him travel, because he's just looked the last sort of 12 months to be a little bit behind the bridle early in his races. So I think that's a positive. There's a few, 4 or 5 winners this week already have worn first time headgear.
There is a stiff breeze picking up, Angus, here as well, as we hand you back to mission control. I think we're going to get soaked later on. Whether it comes in time for those horses wanting soft ground remains to be seen.
Alex Niall, thank you very much indeed. And, well, the Gold Cup's absolutely fascinating, isn't it, this year? And it's a tremendous card on the final day of Cheltenham 2013. More news to come about Sunny Hill Boy and indeed whether AP McCoy will ride Ceux des Champs just a little bit later on. We're waiting for that to be confirmed. Plenty to come in the show. The action commences at 1:30 this afternoon, and it does so with the Triumph Hurdle. John Quinn is double-handed. Hidden Justice on the right-hand side of your screen. Cashmere Peak on the left, and Dougie Costello has chosen to ride Cashmere Peak.
I think the main key is that they both have class on their side.
Then the big one, the feature event of the week, the Cheltenham Gold Cup. And Bobsworth is back off a layoff. Barry Geraghty said he's not worried about that layoff whatsoever. And the camp are beginning to get confident about the chances of Bobsworth.
Prior to long run, the Gold Cup was the one thing missing off the CV, and now you've got 2 going there with live chances.
Yeah, and you need them. You do. It's tough, and as I say, I still think it's very, very open. And you know, there's a number of horses there, but with the opportunity, and one of them's got to seize it, and I hope it's living here.
Nicky Henderson, who really does have a very strong hand with Bobsworth and long run in the Gold Cup this afternoon. Still talk on Twitter about who's going to ride Ceux des Champs. William Kennedy's put himself up for the ride. He's riding at Fakenham today, but he says he's very happy to turn the car round and switch and make his way to Cheltenham if required.
Welcome to the final day of the Cheltenham Festival, and leaden skies, the rain as promised has arrived, but it hasn't stopped them arriving in their thousands to watch the blue ribbons of steeplechasing. Drama is never far away from jump racing. Drama is never far away from the Cheltenham Festival. And Lydia, we've had more drama this morning.
Yes, we have, because we've learned that Tony McCoy is taking the ride on Ceux des Champs, who is Willie Mullins' horse for the Gold Cup. He would have been Davy Russell's ride, of course, who's retained by the Jigginstown stud, Michael O'Leary's operation. But unfortunately, he suffered a spontaneous burst lung. He rode in the first race yesterday on Stone Master, came back and he complained that he couldn't breathe and he was taken straight to hospital. He's out of danger, thank goodness, but he's unable, obviously, to ride yesterday or to ride today. There was rumours going around about Woodpool Town End ride, side would Brian Cooper ride? He, of course, got his first festival winner yesterday on Beneficent in the first race in the Dewson, and I thought rode first lieutenant very well, deputising for Davy Russell yesterday. But no, they've taken the decision to ride Tony McCoy, and he was able to do that because Sunny Hill Boy, his intended mount, has been withdrawn due to a self-certificate. So that's the big news. Tony McCoy with a big chance in the Betfred Cheltenham Gold Cup on Ceux des Champs.
Just to talk us through what you're expecting or perhaps hoping to see today.
With the Gold Cup in particular?
Across the board.
Well, Gold Cup, I think I've been thinking most about how's it going to happen in the early stages of the race. I'd love to see Long Run set off in front and try and make all. I think there's no obvious pace in the race. I think we've learnt enough about him over the years to know he's a stayer, basically. And I think it might be an opportunity for him to do that. I think that would be good to see. And I'm sure he'll run well again. He's a former Gold Cup winner. But you've got, like Gold Cup should have, you've got the best two novice chasers of last year who've both got here fit and well to take him on. And I like seeing generations clash, and be it jumps or flat. I think this is a classic generational clash.
Jockeys making their way out. Dougie Costello, Barry Geraghty, AP McCoy for the Triumph Hurdle. Coming out in the rain, I'm afraid. It has started to come down, did so half an hour or so ago. It has been forecast. There's Ruby riding far west. He's just making his way behind Richard Johnson into the parade ring. Let's just see what the rain's like. It's pretty heavy now, isn't it? It's starting to come down now. Pretty heavy.
Des Hughes fields the favourite in the JCB Triumph Hurdle. That is Conor, whose form has only been franked by Flax and Flare, notably in the Fred Winter, and he showed really good form, beating all the leading Irish hopes last time out. Desi, sorry to interrupt. How are you feeling about the task ahead for Conor?
I'm quite well used to it now. Yeah, I'm fine.
He was
happy with the horse.
He was terribly impressive last time.
He was, yeah. Let's hope now that the other horses run up to the form.
You must have been pleased with the form of the Fred Winter result, albeit I know the headgear improved Fax and Fair, but that seemed to frank the form even further.
Yeah, it was good to see him run real well in it anyway. So.
And what's particularly likable about him is the way he jumps. He's very fluid and silky for such a young horse.
Up to now, yeah, he has been good.
Now, obviously Cheltenham puts quite an accent on stamina, and particularly the new course as compared to the old course. He's sort of got his best form at 9 furlong on the flat. Does that concern you at all?
No, he got the trip. He won in Navan. You know, any horse to come in around Navan, it's a stiff track. And he won going away in Leopardstown. True run, 2 mile, and the time was good, so he should get the trip.
There's quite a bit of stamina in the pedigree, actually. I was looking at some of his half-brothers.
Yeah, no, he'll stay all right. Okay. He'll stay fast enough.
Tactics-wise, what are you hoping for?
You know yourself, you have a horse like him that has enough of pace and that, you just ride him off the pace and hope everything goes well.
Okay, well, fingers crossed for you. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Well, the rain that's been falling for, over an hour now has become a little more forceful in the last 20 minutes. Space under the shelter of the roof outside the weighing room is at a premium. Neither Steve nor I have managed to find any, as you will observe from these shots. However, it will not dampen our enthusiasm for Gold Cup Day, Steve. We've got the JCB Triumph Hurdle.
Speak for yourself. No, we have. It's a cracking race and a great start with the traditional curtain racer on the final day.
Runners making their way to post, and Rolling Star is now being heavily supported. 9-4 favourite, Far West 9-2. Conor drifting out to 9-2 from 7-2. Dear Carly 12s, it's 12 Stockton's Wing. Hidden Justice 16s. Kashmir Peak is 16s. 22-1 Lac Fontana, that's weak. Vasco de Ronstre 22-1. And 25s and bigger. The rest of them, Far West weak on the exchanges, 5-1 now. And also quite weak on the exchanges are Conor, but it's all about Rolling Star, well backed.
It interests me, Steve, that Far West should be weak on the exchanges because he's got some of the strongest form on show for this Triumph Hurdle, and we know that Cheltenham holds no terrors for him.
Cheltenham and any softening in the ground, no problem. I would have been concerned had we not had some rain, or had there not been some juice in the ground, because he's got quite a round action. One thing you can expect to see, let's just assume that he's here, fit and well, and going to run his race. One thing I think we can expect to see is probably him hit a slight flat spot. He's done that in a few of his races. I think he's a very sound stayer.
Our Conor is also a 9-2 chance down in the ring at present. He brings the Irish Grade 1 form into the mix. Those who fancy our Conor wouldn't have been at all disappointed in seeing Flaxen Flair land the Fred Winter here a couple of days ago, because that horse could manage no better than 5th behind our Conor at Leopardstown.
Absolutely. I mean, on Irish form, he seems to be head and shoulders their best representative. The next in the best is a horse called Dear Carly, and our Conor beat him 5 lengths last time out. There didn't appear to be any excuse. Some of the things offered against him, because he was sort of a mile 9 furlong horse on the flat. Let's talk about whether he'll stay. A couple of things in his favour. One, he won on a stiff track in Nace and looks like he stayed pretty strongly. And 2, in his pedigree, there's actually quite a lot of stamina, and I wonder if he is taken after that. The thing that slightly worries me, his main asset when you see him race, he's a brilliant jumper.
Yes.
And I just slightly prefer him on the old course than the new course, you know, where the hurdles come up quickly. It's that long run from 3 out where there's more galloping than jumping. I just wonder if that is a very slight negative. That side, I think he's got rock solid form, and he has a big chance for the Irish.
And there he is on the way down in the hands of 20-year-old Brian Cooper, who tasted festival success for the first time when scoring aboard Beneficent in the Jewson here yesterday afternoon. So the runners are circling prior to the opener on the final day of this year's Cheltenham Festival. We've reached post time of 1:30 for the JCB Triumph Hurdle. So let's head high up into the stands for the first time this afternoon. We're waiting for us, we say, a very good afternoon to Mark Johnson.
As they make the turn, making the long run down to the second from home in the Triumph Hurdle, and Dear Carly is out in front. He leads still by 2.5 to 3 lengths over Our Conor, always his nearest pursuer in second. Swinnymore on the outside with Far West and Rolling Star. Limpet Light to the inside. Stockton's Wing likewise racing in 6, and then Semetagal in the purple and yellow hoops staying on, followed by Gassing Golf, who's running a mighty race. Crispy Green likewise is staying on. Lac Fontana is now being driven, and they've now gone clear of Vasco de Ronceray and King of Doos into the wings of the second from home. Our Conor looms menacingly now up on the outside of Dear Carly, and the Irish are 1 and 2. Back in third, Rolling Star with 3 lengths to find now on the Irish Raiders as they swing the turn, and Our Conor has cruised into the lead for Brian Cooper. He takes a nonchalant look behind and clears away by 3. Dear Carly, Rolling Star, Semetagal and Far West are next, followed by Vasco de Ronceray, Crispy Green, Lac Fontana and Swinnymore. But racing down towards the final flight, it is Our Conor and Brian Cooper. They've gone clear by 10 lengths. The danger now is in front. The 8th and final flight. He is over safely. Our Conor is clear and away. Semetagal staying on to the inside of Far West, but the winner has flown far, far away. A banker of the meeting for many. Our Conor wins the Triumph Hurdle. Far West in second and Semetagal in third. Dear Carly held on for 4th, and in 5th was Vasco de Ronceray.
20-year-old Brian Cooper punched the air with delight as Our Conor flashed past the post. The 4-1 winner of the JCB Triumph Hurdle. He's 4 out of 4 over hurdles. A faultless round of hurdling. This is a proper racehorse.
I mean, again, this will be given quotes in a minute for the Triumph, for the Champion Hurdle, and quite rightly too. I'm just racking my brain for more impressive or as impressive Triumph Hurdle winners, and he's right up there with your Oh So Riskies and wide margin winners like that.
Desi Hughes already talking to the press after that very impressive success from Our Conor in the Triumph Hurdle. I'm going to see if I can possibly muscle in. Sorry to interrupt everybody. Congratulations, Desi, that's fantastic.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. Jumped marvellous as he does, and travelled, and quicker they went, the better he went. So he's just special now, isn't he?
He is. No wonder you weren't worried beforehand. Now, the way that he's gone round there suggests that he'll be even better suited by the sharper test of the old course for the Champion Hurdle next year. Surely you're thinking of that.
Yeah, he dropped the bridle a bit in behind the Leopardstown. He came alive when he arrived at them, but today he was on the bit all the way and loving it, yeah.
And is he a straightforward horse? Has there been just no problem start to finish?
No, none whatsoever. Eats and sleeps.
That's what you want to hear. And all ground coming alike to him?
Any ground, I think, yeah.
And how good a hurdler do you think this is?
Yourself for yourself? I don't know really, but it's very, very good.
It's very special indeed. Many congratulations. I'll let you enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Desi Hughes knows what he's talking about when it comes to top quality horses. He's got one on his hands here. Our Conor for the Man About Town Syndicate. There'll be plenty of men about town celebrating this one in the environs of Cheltenham a little later on this evening. Brian Cooper returns to a tremendous, if rain-soaked, reception following his success aboard our Conor in the JCB Triumph Hurdle. And what a week for winners this has been for the Emerald Isle, and our Conor is right up there with the best of them.
What a performance that was. For me, that is the most impressive performance of the festival so far. Hugely impressive. High cruising speed, quick, fluent, fast jumper, turn of foot who stays as well. He's got the lot. 4-1 he's won out for Brian Cooper and Desi Hughes. Wow. Far West 4-1 in second. Semetagal was third at 33s. Rolling Star the favourite and well back. He couldn't live with our Conor though. 17 round in the Triumph Hurdle.
Brian Cooper making the first race of the day his own after that success on Beneficent yesterday, but that on our Conor was terribly easy.
Yeah, he put him to bed very easy, you know, he travelled so well. I was there a mile too soon, but you know, he just got so much gears and class, and he was very good.
And he looked like he wasn't stopping at all up the hill.
No, he kept galloping, you know, I could have done with a bit of company the whole way, because he'd say he would have been further and further clear.
Is this a future champion hurdler?
I've never ridden a champion hurdle, so I never know, but he's given me the feel of one anyway.
Well done.
Thank you.
The Betfred Cheltenham Gold Cup is the feature event of the week. Let's have a look at the market. Bobsworth 11-4, 4-1 Ceux des Champs, long run 92 along with Sloviniaco Conti, 12-1 Cape Tribulation, Captain Chris 14s the Giant Bolster, Monbeg Dude 33-1, and Wayward Prince 100s.
The bell has just gone for the jockeys to get aboard their respective mounts for the 2013 renewal of the Betfred at Cheltenham Gold Cup. This now 9-strong field in the absences of Bog Warrior.
I thought Long Run looked the better of the two Nicky Henderson runners, but then he often does. Long Run is often also impresses in the paddock, and you were making the point to us that Bobsworth is one of those that doesn't particularly in appearance. So that was the first thing. I thought Long Run looks in great condition.
So we come to the Betfred Cheltenham Gold Cup, first run in 1924. Bobsworth will lead the parade, winner of the Albert Bartlett 2 years ago. 12 months ago it was the RSA Chase, seeking to become the first horse since Flying Bolt to win 3 different races at the Cheltenham Festival. Winner of 3 of his 5 starts over fences. Barry Geraghty takes the ride for the Not Afraid partnership and for Nicky Henderson. Bog Warrior is the absentee, and Bobsworth is followed in the parade by Cape Tribulation, 3 times a winner over fences, his 4th festival, winner of the Pertemps final 12 months ago. Dennis O'Regan takes the ride on the Argento Chase winner. Captain Chris is a 4-time winner over fences, winner of the 2011 Arkle, 4th in the Ryanair 12 months ago, currently a 14-1 shot, the mount of Richard Johnson for Diana Waitley and Philip Hobbs. Long Run is seeking to follow in the footsteps of Corto Star in winning and then losing and regaining a Cheltenham Gold Cup. He's 4-1 for Sam Whaley-Cohen, who looks for his 2nd winner of the week at Cheltenham. Long Run, a 9-time winner over fences. A cheek piece is on today. And so too the Welsh national winner, Monbeg Dude. And now the mount of Sam Twiston-Davis. Monbeg Dude, a 40-1 chance for Michael Scudamore. Silviniaco Conti has had the perfect build-up to this year's race. 3 from 3 this season. He started off in West Yorkshire in early November by landing the Charlie Hall Chase. He followed up in the Betfair Chase at Haydock when he had Long Run and the Giant Bolster behind, and he teed himself up for a crack at jumping's greatest prize in the Denman Chase at Newbury last month. And so too at Ceux des Champs, another looking to win 3 different races at the Cheltenham Festival, having won the Martin Pipe in 2011, the and 12 months ago. AP comes in for the ride on this 6-time chase winner. The Giant Bolster, runner-up in the race 12 months ago, 1 place in front of Long Run, a 3-time winner over fences. He's also paying his 4th visit to the festival, whilst it's a 2nd festival visit for rank outsider Wayward Prince, who was well fancied for the RSA Chase when 3rd back in 2011. A 4-time winner over fences, his latest success coming in a listed race at Aintree before Christmas. Barry Geraghty, a picture of concentration. AP on the winner's board for the first time at this year's festival some 30 minutes ago. Sam Whaley-Cohen, what a few days it's been for him, the birth of his first child last week, a festival winner earlier in the week. Ruby Walsh the meeting's leading rider. Jonathan, stamina assured for long run. Is it necessarily assured, for example, for Silviniaco Conti?
Well, if you'd asked me that question 12 months ago, I would have said a definite no. But he just seems to have developed into a horse with plenty of stamina this year. He's been strong at the end of his races, which is what's been most impressive about him.
And Steve, what of Bobsworth? We have no qualms about him coming here a fresh horse, but is it worth bearing in mind that it wasn't the plan to come here quite so fresh?
I think you're right, the point is out. Now, the actual break itself is no concern, but they were toying with the idea of running in the Argento, and he had, I think, a low blood count or a wrong blood count, and he didn't run. So it's not been absolutely ideal. As a horse, I mean, he's unbeaten going left-handed. He's unbeaten at Cheltenham. He's a dual festival winner. He got loads and loads and loads of things which you like to see in a potential Gold Cup winner. I think the enforced break or the reasons for it are your slight concerns about him.
14-1, we've got Captain Chris at 16-1, the Giant Bolster. Maybe the rain that has fallen has not helped his chances. They're filing out onto the track for the race that so many have waited for this week, the Betfred Cheltenham Gold Cup. Let's join Mike Cattermole.
So they're heading down the hill. They've got 4 more fences left to take. And it's Long Run who's in front, but on the outside, menacingly, is Sir Deschamps. Here's the 4th last. Beautiful leap by the 2 leaders there. Little to choose between them. Silviniaco Conti 3 lengths away 3rd. Then the Giant Bolster, and Bobsworth is under a bit of pressure to close these leaders down now. The unbeaten in 4 starts here at Cheltenham is now going to start picking up quickly. They're coming down the hill towards the 3rd last in the Gold Cup. He got in tight there, Long Run. The buckle end, Silviniaco Conti down, went with every chance, and that leaves Sir Deschamps to press Long Run on his own. They've kicked 5 clear of the Giant Bolster back in 3rd. About to be passed by Bobsworth perhaps, who's trying to stage a late rally, and then Cape Tribulation 5th, Captain Chris 6th, coming round towards the home straight now, and Sir Deschamps draws alongside Long Run, but Bobsworth is eating up the ground on the outside. This is going to be a thriller. The Giant Bolster coming back at them. Here's the 2nd last, and it was Long Run, but here comes Bobsworth on the near side from Sir Deschamps in 3rd, and then the Giant Bolster. Long Run though very game. Bobsworth strikes the front. Here he comes to the final fence, and it's Bobsworth who's touching down with a 2-length lead over Long Run in 2nd. Then Sir Deschamps back in 3rd, who's rallying to the cause now. Bobsworth trying to maintain his unbeaten record here at the festival, and he's going to do it. Bobsworth, 50 festival wins for Nicky Henderson, wins the Gold Cup for Barry Geraghty. Sir Deschamps 2nd, Long Run was 3rd. Then the Giant Bolster, Cape Tribulation, Captain Chris, and Wayward Prince.
Simply magical. All you could have asked for in a horse race. Bobsworth, the first horse since Flying Bolt to win 3 different races at the Cheltenham Festival. An Albert Bartlett, an RSA chase, now joined by a Betfred Cheltenham Gold Cup. Barry Geraghty for Nicky Henderson, and the Hennessy winner at Bobsworth. And there is the joy and the delight and the pain etched on the face of Nicky Henderson. Sir Deschamps gave it a good go, seeking to become the first Irish-trained winner of the race since War of Attrition in the Jigginstown colours back in 2006, and the former champion at Long Run right in the mix as well. The only one who wasn't there was Silviniaco Conti, who crashed out when on the heels of the leaders at the 3rd last. There's nothing flash about him, is the Jonathan. He doesn't take the eye when he walks into the parade ring. He doesn't walk in and you step back and gasp and think, oh, here's a Gold Cup winner. But he gets the job done, and he breaks the hearts of the rivals.
He definitely does. You're going to have 3-1, 7-2 if you think he's going to follow up next year with Betfred. He's just absolutely magnificent in the way he does the job.
Oh, what a relief.
We all know that feeling of barely being able to keep the binoculars still.
The music has started up over the PA sound system. Crunching fall for Ruby Walsh and Silviniaco Conti at the 3rd last. What might have been for Silviniaco Conti, we'll never know. Bobsworth 3-1 for next year's Gold Cup with Conor. Now wait for this. Cheltenham is about to explode as the cheers ring out the 2013 Betfred Cheltenham Gold Cup winner Bobsworth and Barry Geraghty make their way back to the Cheltenham Winners' Enclosure. Listen to this.
What a moment. Bobsworth has outstayed them up the Cheltenham Hill. A 50th Cheltenham Festival winner for trainer Nicky Henderson. And he looked somewhat emotional, Nicky, didn't he, as he was watching Bobsworth surge up the hill. Let's not forget he trained the third as well, long run. He ran a brave race out in front. He made a few jumping errors, which might have cost him late on. But Bobsworth has won, and 7 lengths was the winning margin in the end. He was the 11-4 favourite. He beat Sir Deschamps, who was very tired at the end, 4-1. Long run third at 7-2 and 9 ran.
Both Barry and I were worried before with the rain because I know it was forecast, we knew it was coming, and we knew it would change the ground very, very quickly, which it did. It had nearly gone by the first race, and it had to go on by then. Admittedly, we got a fresh track, first chase. But he's better on better ground. He's been moving really well too. So I was nervous about it. I don't think Barry thought he was just going as well as he'd like to have done, sort of 4 or 5 out. But this horse knows how to. He's bottomless, if you like, in his heart. He will give you absolutely everything, and Barry knows that. And I think he was just trying to let him fill up, because the one thing he's always loved doing is coming up that hill. And if he can get to the bottom of the hill in touch, then you know one thing: he's going to come up it, and he'll be very, very hard to pass if he does do that.
And what a marvellous Gold Cup it was, and it was won by Bobsworth on Barry Geraghty. Now tell us what happened, because watching on the TV, it looked like you were beaten, and then there was a camera change, a change of shot, and suddenly you were back in the game. What happened?
He just struggled on the soft ground most of the way. I'd say we'd only gone a mile, and I was starting to, I knew he wasn't happy, so I had to start trying to conserve and save a bit. And I just kept taking my time and chase him along quietly. I thought I was beaten with 5, 6 to jump, but he started to run on down the hill, jumped the third last well, and he knew at the back of the third last I had a good chance of getting him.
Because he's all heart, this little horse.
He's all heart. He's not overly big, but ideally wants better ground. He coped with it, but it made it harder work for him.
And you said that he impersonates a workmanlike horse, where he's anything but. I thought that was a fantastic way to describe him.
Well, that's it, and he sold the dummy again there because he didn't travel. But I knew, I'm chasing along, but I'm only looking for 80%, because I know that when I need it, there's a good bit there. He showed a lot of pace when he worked last week in Kempton, which was just a reminder, and I was happy enough to delay my challenge and not be in a big panic.
And you've equalled Flying Bolt's record, the first horse to win 3 races at the Cheltenham Festival since him. That's a name to equal.
Yeah, it's brilliant. He's a great horse, and it was nice to be involved with him from such a young age.
And do you think that he's going to be an even better horse then, coming back here next year and hopefully on better ground?
Well, maybe so, but sure, we'll enjoy now. And it was great to win a Gold Cup, and we'll worry about next year's one then. But it's brilliant. It was a great performance, and brilliant performance by his trainer. He never missed any work, but he'd faith. He said to me after the Hennessy, we'll have him fit for the Gold Cup. He didn't get his run in the meantime, but he said he'd have him fit, and he had him fit.